Thanks. So moving on, Professor Tommy. Actually, for this year, ANSHM has initiated a few campaigns, I would say. So Tommy would speak on those campaigns. Specifically, there is one needs to be mentioned by Tommy. So it represents our collective endeavor that to contribute to the scholarly domain relating to structural health monitoring. Tommy, thanks.
Thank you so much, Lei. So Lei mentioned about last year when we are having the advisory board meeting and we making a decision where and when are we going to have our 16th ANSHM workshop. So is it okay? Okay. So, and at that time, Lei is so humble and he said that, oh, can't make it, maybe we are not ready. And then I just encourage him, and with the other advisory board member, and he take up the job, and he has done it so well. And I should thank our MIT and also the our MIT organizing that, and also the co-organizer like Monash U with Colin and Melbourne U of Twin. We have been working so. They've been working so hard to make it successful. Okay, now we come to this. So thank you so much for Ray and Lei giving me some more time for me to speak. Actually, when I was asked to speak today, or the opening speech and all that, I find it I won't take it too long. It's because later I will mention about why I've been so busy for the past few weeks. Okay, so ANSHM, I always mention that Australian Network of Structural Health Monitoring that has been established. So this is 16 workshops. So in other words, we are celebrating our 15th anniversary. And so it started in 2009 when we come to, when we try to establish something like structural health monitoring in Australia, because I came from Hong Kong. For those who've been in Hong Kong may notice that when you leave the airport, there are a few big bridges there. So those big bridges are my toys. Because at that time, in the early 90s, when the Hong Kong Highways Department, they tried to establish, at that time, they think that structural health monitoring, and they would like to learn about structural health monitoring. And at that time, I am also new to structural health monitoring, and Hong Kong Highways Department, they are also new to structural health monitoring. But I'm fortunate that I could learn together with them, and then we have developed a lot of structural health monitoring system. And then at that time, we start to call it structural health monitoring. So we give a definition for our ANSHM first book, and stating that, as well as when we draft the AS 5100 for the session about structural health monitoring, we just try to deliberately to define it. A lot of people, they consider structural health monitoring is just to put in sensors, but we are more focused at what's the purpose of structural health monitoring is to monitor the performance of the structure and evaluate its health status. So not only damage detection, but also try to monitor its performance. Okay, so that is our aim, and I won't go too long on it. And then the next one show our. So we have 64 organizations. So for these 15 years, we have established a lot of friendship with all the others. So now when we try to have what I'm going to speak about is that a lot of people consider it's a big task, a huge task, but within ANSHM, it is not piece of cake, but not as hard as the other academics. So today, before I come here, for the past few weeks, I always have good and bad news, and I get used to receiving bad news. And this morning, because of receiving some not bad news, is one of the executive committee telling me that she's sick and can't come, and etc. So, and all that, I try to help her, and then I came a little bit late, and because of that, I found I should meet, I should greet those we haven't met for many years, but just came here just 10 minutes before we start. So sorry for that. I should greet all those I met many years. And I mentioned that we have a very good relationship, so that it's so easy for us, a little bit easier than others, to establish what we are going to do. So I won't go into details of all that. This is all our achievements since that many years, but I won't go into details. So I just go directly to our initiative. Okay, since we have been here for 15 years, and for the past few years, there are a lot of things happen. Especially, one thing is, in the past, we don't have to think of, but now because of what we are aiming to have, decarbonization and carbon neutral, in 2050, it induced a lot of risk to our current infrastructure. I'm not sure whether you know that or not. In the past, it is not allowed to have electric vehicle to go through under tunnels. But now, because of that, suddenly we need to allow them to go through tunnel, but without much readiness. So you can see how important it is at the moment, how we need to deal with this kind of transporting renewable energy through the infrastructure here. So because of that, and also other issues that have been happening for that many years, so we try to have something, we call it Research Hub for Sustainable Smart Infrastructure through Digital Transformation. It was decided last year, but it has been evolved for the past few years already. We definitely need to have something like a research hub or training center, so that in the past, ANSHM, for the last 15 years, we haven't collected any subscription fees, but we still survive and expanding. It's just because of the support of the executive committee member, of the advisory board member, and of the member. They are so devoted to structural health monitoring as well as to ANSHM. So to me, I think that now is the time for us to do something more solid. It doesn't mean that in the past we have not done something solid, but now we would like to have something more. So we try to establish. When we decided in the last advisory board meeting, we even not decided whether we go for the training center or research hub, because ARC, they have training center as well as for the research hub. For training center, if we, both of them, they are for training future researcher as well as to do some research work for a particular topic. But training center, you need to have at least 2 million. For the research hub, you need to have at least 3.75 million. So we consider at that time, maybe we are not able to achieve that much amount. So we can't decide to have training center or research hub. But when we start to call for participation, the response is so good. It just indicates that now is the time. So at the moment, you show it here, we have 26 partner organizations. So in other words, there are 26 and more than 1/4 of it, they are government agencies. They are end users. A lot of time for other research hub or training center, that's not that easy. But because of our previous relationship, make it so easier. Sometimes I just need to make a call, and then the other say, okay, go ahead, we will support. So now we have achieved, earlier is 5.33 million. Now because of suddenly, on the day before the deadline, last Monday, we noticed that one of the partner organizations could not get the letter support. They originally tried to contribute $500,000. So because of that, we lost $500,000. So now we have only 4.86 million, but still it's a large amount of money, much more than 3.75. So I don't see it will affect much. So we have 26, now 25, and then we have 15 collab projects, and we have 5 themes and 12 postdocs and 25 PhDs, and have 27 chief investigators working together. So these are the... Okay, so now it's okay. Okay, thank you. It doesn't work. Okay, so we have 5 themes. So basically, the first 3 themes is the development of advanced sensing and sustainable monitoring systems, which include corrosion monitoring and also make it low cost, low energy. And then the second one is what structural health monitoring about is, about performance and condition monitoring. And then theme 3 is we try to make use of the latest technology, like AI, machine learning, in digital twins, IoT, and all that, to see how that could help in the structural health monitoring system. And at the end, we try to have it to apply to theme 4 and theme 5. Theme 4 is something that we are familiar with, is the application to transportation and utilities infrastructures. And theme 5 is application to the energy assets. So in the past, we may have ignored the importance of energy assets, but now, because of that decarbonization achievement and all that, we need to have it. And so we have about more than 1/5 of the industry partners, or they are contributing nearly 2 million for this research hub, is trying to help for how we can look after our energy assets of those infrastructures. So these are, so you can see that we cover a wide spectrum of the infrastructure sector. So we have something like the regulators and end users. So these, the bottom one are that. And then we have some service providers which have been friends for many years already. So we have that. And then the other, the developers and suppliers. So we have covered most of the sectors for this infrastructure. So we have submitted the final application to our Office of Research last Tuesday. Yesterday, it's been so difficult. And I've mentioned about that. So many things happen, so many bad news and all that I need to deal with. Not every day, every hour. So you can see that. And then after submitted, that's not the end. And then for these few days, we try to have the final proofreading. And then the final submission is next Tuesday. So I should thank for those industry partners as well as for those chief investigators. You've been so helpful and so supportive. I so appreciate so much of you. Sometimes I just need help, and someone they are just like last Tuesday, while a big agent is having time to traveling, but he's just making a call, and then he's so willing to help, and even though he's about to travel. So I should thank a lot of the, I've also made a lot of calls and a lot of people. They are so helpful, and thank you so much. That's all for what I'm going to present. I hope next year I will give you some more about what we are going to do for that research hub, celebrating our 15th anniversary. Okay, thank you so much, Lei. That's the end of these sessions.